So, first of all, welcome back. Today I'm starting with a new poem. आपका पहला poem, My Mother at 66 is over. Second poem, Keeping Quiet, written by Pablo Neruda, I have done. Because I had missed the session, so I had shared the MCQs with you. Now I'm moving to the third poem. अब जो third poem है उसके बाद I'll be giving a stop because I'll be moving to the other sections like writing and all. This poem is from the point of view of boats and a general. अगर आप में से कभी कोई आगे जाकर इंग्लिश ऑनर्स वगैरह करता है तो this poem is one of the very important poems written by John Keats. ये जो poem है A Thing of Beauty. First of all, let us learn what is the meaning of thing of beauty. John Keats, he was a nature loving poet. And उन्होंने जो अपने inspirations लिए हैं, all the inspirations that he has taken for himself, those are either from the nature or literature. उनका मानना था that all the bounties of the nature, जितनी भी nature में सुंदर चीजें हैं, which has been given by the Almighty, they all are the sources of inspiration. They all are the sources of motivation. They are the sources of joy. And इसका जो effect होता है, the effect of such bounties of the nature, they are never ending. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने एक बार किसी चीज को देखा, आपने किसी चीज को एक बार एक्सपीरियंस किया and it has ended. No, it's an eternal, means it goes on. Whenever you would experience these things, you would always have that experience of what we call as inspiration. हम लोगों ने इससे पहले वाला पोएम पढ़ा था, अर्थ कैन बी अ टीचर. द rotation of the earth, the changing, the transformation of the seasons, they give us this message that life is never ending. मतलब एक साइकिल खत्म होता है तो दूसरा शुरू होता है. That is an inspiration. The sun, which gives us heat as well as light. The moon gives us the light, beauty. रात में जो चंद्रमा होता है उसकी जो ब्यूटी होती है, that is something different. Everything which is present, the green environment, the natural landscapes, the mountains, आप किसी भी चीज को देखोगे, they would always be captured in your eyes. वो हमेशा आपके, हम चाहे अपने कैमरा में कैप्चर करें या ना करें, हम चाहे अपने कैमरा के रील्स को खोलकर देखें या नया देखें, they would always be captured in our memories. Every small thing which is present in the nature gives us this message: go on. Nature is always a given, मतलब कि it's a giver. छोटा सा पौधा, बड़े से ट्रीज, न्यू ट्रीज और ओल्ड ट्रीज, सबकी कुछ ना कुछ इंपॉर्टेंस रहती है. The new trees gives us fruits, the old trees gives us shelter, timber. And this is what John Keats wants to convey. लेकिन इसमें वो एक चीज और ऐड करता है, and वो ये है कि not only the bounties of the nature are the providers of what we call as inspiration, every literature that we read, जब हम लोगों के बारे में पढ़ते हैं, when we talk about people, those who have laid their lives for others, those who have been called as the heroes. यहाँ हम हीरो अपने उन फेक सेलिब्रिटीज के बारे में बात नहीं कर रहे हैं. Here we are talking about those people who have lived their life for the others, the saints, the soldiers. When we read something about them, जब हम उनके बारे में कुछ पढ़ते हैं, तो they are also the inspirations to us. Class 12th के एक I think in the Delhi set this question was there, how do nature as well as literature provide us never ending inspiration? So nature, the sun, the moon, the trees, the small rivers, the forest, they are all the bounties of nature. And the literature, which gives us the message of people who have laid their lives, they also inspire us. So that's the poem, A Thing of Beauty is a Joy Forever. और हम लोग इसको जो है एज अ कोटेशन भी यूज करते हैं इन मेनी टाइम, मतलब कि इन मेनी वेज हम इसको एज अ कोट भी यूज करते हैं. अ थिंग ऑफ ब्यूटी इज अ जॉय फॉर एवर, मतलब एक खूबसूरत चीज जो होती है वो हमेशा हमें जो है कुछ ना कुछ प्लेजेंट मेमोरीज देती है. तो यहाँ डोंट expect the beauty that you are referring to some people. It's about the bounties of nature. आपके पेपर में ये word bounties आता है, so I have repeated it number of times. So I'm sharing the NCERT and we are doing the same thing along with NCERT. If you look at the name of the poet John Keats, a British romantic poem, means यहाँ पर please do not take this romantic as the one which is shown in the Bollywood. Romanticism is towards poems, beauty, where we are मतलब कि हम लोग जो है इन चीजों को encourage करते हैं. He was born in the era of romanticism, that is, that era was called as. Though he was a surgeon, but he wrote many poems. और ये जो poem है एंडीमियन से लिया गया है, a Greek legend. And this I'm explaining because sometimes in the boards you get this kind of question कि ये किस में से लिया गया था, along with who has written, ये भी आ जाता. First, we would be reading the poem, then we would go with the poetic devices. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. मतलब एक खूबसूरत चीज जो होती है, it has a never ending effect. And the more you experience them, it would increase. It would never pass into a thing. Matlab, it is not mortal. It would not end up, but will keep a bower quiet for us. Now, what is the meaning of bower? Board का question था. It's a shadow. A bower quiet for us मतलब एक shadow देता है, beneath which we can sleep soundly. We can sleep soundly with full of sweet dreams and health and quiet breathing. मतलब under which we can have a sound sleep. मतलब जब आपको ठंडी ठंडी हवा मिलती है, this is not the time when the air conditions were there. This is not the time when we used to have the fans and all. That is the time when people used to have the nature as their air condition. तो उसका कहना है कि when you are passing, when you are tired, जब आप बिल्कुल थक जाते हो, and you take harbor under a tree, उसका जो उसकी जो छाया होती है, जो शैडो होती है ना, that gives us a sound sleep. Therefore, यहाँ पर therefore का मतलब है that is why. यहाँ पर इसका मतलब है that's why. On every morrow, morrow means वैसे तो होता है tomorrow. Morrow का वैसे मीनिंग होता है morrow, but here it is used for morning. It is used for morning, means every morning. हर सुबह are we reading a flowery band to bind us to the earth? मतलब हम जो हैं we read मतलब बुनना, weave, read का मतलब होता है weave, and a flowery band मतलब होता है garland, माला. To bind us to the earth, हमें जो है कोई ऐसी चीज है जो हमें इस अर्थ से बांध कर रखती है. There is something, these bounties of the natures, वो something है जो हमें इस अर्थ से बांध कर रखती है. Spite of despondence, spite of का मतलब होता है in spite of, इसके बावजूद. एंड डेस्पॉन्डेंस का मतलब होता है डिसअपॉइंटमेंट्स. डेस्पॉन्डेंस का मतलब होता है डिसअपॉइंटमेंट्स, मतलब दुख दर्द. ऑफ द इनह्यूमन डर्थ ऑफ नोबल नेचर्स, इनह्यूमन डर्थ ऑफ नोबल नेचर्स मतलब लैक ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटी. ऑफ द ग्लूमी डेज, ग्लूमी मतलब दुखी. Of all the unhealthy and over darkened ways made for our searching. Of all the unhealthy and over darkened ways, matlab all the troubles, all the miseries, the war, the personal sorrow, the loss, ये सब हमें क्या करते हैं? हमें disappointment देते हैं. They all give us disappointments when we are the man human. उसका कहना है कि human is circumvented by, इंसान जो है दुख दर्द तकलीफों से घिरा हुआ है. He is facing lack of humanity. He is facing the miseries of life. उसके बावजूद कोई ऐसी चीज है जो हमें इस धरती से बांध कर रखती है. Something which gives us hope. Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. मतलब कि हमारे जो डार्क स्पिरिट्स, मतलब हमारे ऊपर जो बोझ है उसके ऊपर से उसके शैडो को रिमूव कर देता है. Some shape of beauty, मतलब he doesn't define the beauty in one shape. कुछ तो है, something is there. That is the one which removes that shadow from our dark spirit. हमारा जो spirit है, हमारी जो conscience है, हमारी जो अंतरात्मा है जिसके ऊपर एक बोझ है, उसको वो हटा देता है. And for this he gives us these as the examples. ये आपके पीछे का क्वेश्चन है. मून, सन, such as the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boom. अब यहां पर उसने यंग एंड ओल्ड दो अलग क्यों लिखा? जो ओल्ड ट्रीज होती हैं दे गिव अस द शैडो, एंड जो यंग ट्रीज होती हैं दे गिव अस द फ्रूट्स. मतलब उसका कहना है कि नेचर में हर एक चीज, चाहे वो सन हो या मून हो, ओल्ड ट्रीज हो या यंग ट्रीज हो, दे गिव अस अ शेडी बून. शेडी बून मतलब they give us the blessings. They provide us with the blessings. For simple sheep, यहाँ पर the simple sheep here is a metaphor, and this means simple sheep का मतलब है यहाँ पे the simplicity of nature. The simplicity of nature. Such are the daffodils. Daffodils means the flowers with the green world they live in. नाउ द डेफोडिल्स डोंट लिव, मतलब उसका कहना है कि वो गार्डन जहां ये फ्लावर्स उगते हैं, एंड द क्लियर रिल्स मतलब स्मॉल रिवर्स, स्ट्रीम्स, छोटे छोटे स्ट्रीम्स. इवन अगर आप उस छोटे से स्ट्रीम के पास भी जाओगे, that for themselves a cooling cart make मतलब जब आप उनके पास जाते हो, they provide you cool environment. Against मतलब against the hot season, मतलब जब गर्मियों में आप इवन एक छोटे से झरने के पास भी जाओगे, even if you go near a small stream in the hot season, it would provide you the coolness. जरूरी नहीं है कि you need to go to a very big river. Even a small stream can provide you the coolness. The mid forest break means when you enter into the forest, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. Fair musk rose blooms means the wild flowers. उनके जो fragrance है, the fragrance of wild flowers, वो भी आपको capture करते हैं. I'm explaining here till here once again. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness. मतलब कोई भी खूबसूरत चीज जो होती है, एनीथिंग विच इज ब्यूटिफुल is a never ending source of joy. The more you experience, the more you would experience the joy. They would never end, but they are just like, matlab, but will keep a word, matlab, they are just like a shadow of a tree under which during the summers or when we are tired we have a sound sleep. उसी तरीके से they provide us peace. And that is why perhaps उसका कहना है कि that is why perhaps every morning we have a hope. We have a hope that binds us to this earth. कोई एक ऐसा hope है जो हमें इस धरती से बांध कर रखता है. Otherwise humans are circumvented or surrounded by inhuman, मतलब lack of humanity, sorrow, personal losses, so many troubles जो हमें हमेशा परेशान करते हैं. Made for our searching मतलब those who always trouble us. But despite all of them, there is some shape of beauty that removes this burden from our soul. डार्क स्पिरिट्स मतलब अवर सोल, हमारे सोल से उसको हटा देता है. बाय प्रोवाइडिंग अस ब्रेथ, बाय प्रोवाइडिंग अस पीस. एंड फॉर दैट ही टेक्स द example of the nature, that sun, moon, old trees, young trees, those who are providing us with blessings. Then he also adds on the simplicity of nature, the animals, the flowers, the wildflowers in the forest, everything that you experience that comes in your way, कुछ भी जो आपके रास्ते में आता है सब कुछ ना कुछ आपको देते हैं. They always provide us some source of joy. अब ये जो लास्ट के लाइंस है, this is about literature. That is why I am मतलब कि I stopped here and I gave it. ये जो आपका है, this is about literature. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms. यहाँ पर grandeur का मतलब होता है magnificent. Magnificent मतलब very beautiful. नाउ डूम्स का मतलब क्या होता है बच्चे? डूम्स का मतलब होता है ग्रेवयार्ड. तो why the magnificent dooms बोला गया है? Why the graveyards have been called as magnificent? आपके बुक का ही क्वेश्चन है, देखिए ये रहा ये क्वेश्चन. Why they are called as beautiful? Because they are the lovely tales that we have read or heard about the people who have laid their life for others. We have imagined for the mighty dead. Now this is an oxymoron. Mighty का मतलब होता है powerful और dead होता है powerless. So this is completely antithesis or oxymoron, मतलब बिल्कुल opposite. Why the people have been called as mighty? Because they have laid their lives for others. They have sacrificed their life for others. All lovely tales that we have heard or read, जो हमने उनके बारे में सुना है, हमने पढ़ा है, they are also endless source of joy. An endless fountain of mortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink. Brink मतलब होता है edge, कोना. मतलब जिस तरीके से when we experience an immortal drink मतलब अमृत. कहते हैं ना कि अगर हमारे ऊपर अमृत की वर्षा हो जाए तो हम अमर हो जाते हैं. When we drink the immortal drink, then when we consume the immortal drink, we become eternal. हम हमेशा के लिए जीते हैं. Similarly, these lovely tales, these literatures are immortal. मतलब उनके जो मतलब उनके जो encouragement है, उनका जो source है, they are never ending. They are like the blessings that God has bestowed us from the heaven. वो एक ऐसा सोर्स है जैसे भगवान ने हमें ऊपर से जो है हम लोगों को आशीर्वाद दिया. तो दैट इज आपका अ थिंग ऑफ ब्यूटी. टिल हेयर, यहां तक अगर आप पढ़ते हो तो दे इट इज ऑल अबाउट द नेचर, द बाउंटीज ऑफ नेचर. एंड इसके नीचे अगर आप पढ़ते हो तो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट लिटरेचर. So according to John Keats, whether it is the beauty of nature or literature, they are all never ending sources of joy. So that's the poem, A Thing of Beauty is a Joy Forever. Now we will discuss the rhyme scheme and the poetic devices of the same. If you see, अगर हम चार चार लाइन लेकर चलते हैं तो यू कैन सी फॉर एवर, नेवर, कीप, स्लीप. यानी कि हमारा जो इसका आता है वो है ए ए बी बी, ब्रीदिंग, रीडिंग, अर्थ, डर्थ, डेज, वेज, all, pal, moon, boon. Daffodils, rills, make, break, blooms, dooms, dead, red, brink, drink. यानी कि इसका जो हम अगर 4 4 लाइंस लेकर चलते हैं तो इट वुड कम एज AABB. So the rhyme scheme you can say is, this will be the very first. The second thing is your what we call as poetic devices. First is you have a number of enjambment. Matlab the line moves to the next one without any full stop or what we can call any punctuation mark. In sometimes in your question you may be having antithesis, yani ki something which is completely contrast, and somewhere it might be given as oxymoron. Once again it is the same thing, that is opposite. If you see, mighty is something very powerful and dead means powerless, और दोनों साथ में आ रहे हैं, इसीलिए हम उसको एंटीथेसिस या ऑक्सीमोरन बोलते हैं. एंड हेयर ऑल्सो इफ यू सी, ओल्ड एंड यंग जो है दोनों ऑपोजिट्स है. ओल्ड एंड यंग जो है वो आपके ऑपोजिट्स है, एंड इसीलिए वी आर कॉलिंग इट एज ऑक्सीमोरन. Then here you have enjambment. Then you also have a number of what you call as assonance. आप अगर देखो तो इसमें आप देख सकते हो loveliness, I, increases, will. So you are also having oxymoron, or sorry, assonance. Assonance मतलब when the vowels are repeated. आपके जो vowels हैं वो आपके repeat होते हैं. Then bind to bind us, the flowery band. Have heard, the word, sorry, the letter H is repeated. Then rich, this is an imagery. So these are the main one, that is we have enjambment in every line. हर लाइन में अगर आप देखो, लाइक रीडिंग से अर्थ के बीच में, देन यहाँ पर कॉल से मून के बीच में, बून से रिल्स यहाँ तक के बीच में, देर इज नो कॉमा, देर इज नो फुल स्टॉप, so that comes as enjambment. Then this one, full of sweet dreams, health, quiet breathing on every. Are we reading? We reading a flowery band. It is metaphor. Means यहाँ पर it is actually used. We can also call it as metaphor. We can also call it as transferred epithet. Transferred epithet is nothing but what we call as another form of metaphor. तो इसको हम ये भी बोल सकते हैं, क्योंकि यहाँ पर इसका कहने का मतलब है कि देयर इज सम होप, कोई होप हमें होता है जो हमें इस धरती से बांध कर रखता है. देन सम शेप ऑफ ब्यूटी मूव्स अवे. तो यहाँ पर इट इज एज इफ पर्सोनिफिकेशन का मतलब क्या होता है, व्हेन वी आर गिविंग अ पर्सन इफेक्ट, यानी कि एक एनिमेशन देते हैं, तो सम शेप ऑफ ब्यूटी मूव्स अवे, वो हटा देता है, सो दैट्स आपका पर्सोनिफिकेशन. देन सच सन, सर स्प्राउटिंग शेडी, तो यहाँ पर इट इज एलिट्रेशन. Old and young are opposite to oxymoron. Simplicity of nature is आपका metaphor. Then cooling cart is आपका alliteration. Again mighty dead is आपका antithesis. Rich with, मतलब ऐसा लग रहा है कोई इमेज, मतलब हमें हमारे सामने कोई इमेज क्रिएट हो रहा है, एक जंगल जहाँ फूल गिर रहे हैं, जिसकी खुशबू आ रही है. So that is why it is imagery. Have heard is again alliteration. Immortal drink is a metaphor for eternity. So that's the poem. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. That's a complete one. So once again, to sum up, I'll just tell you that this poem is written by John Keats, who is also said to be one of the nature loving poet. एंड उनका मानना था कि हर वो चीज जो हमारे आसपास है, दे आर ऑल द नेवर एंडिंग सोर्स ऑफ जॉय, दे आर ऑल द नेवर एंडिंग सोर्सेज ऑफ इंस्पिरेशन. उनका मानना है कि दे आर जस्ट लाइक, मतलब ही इज कंपेयरिंग देम टू द बोअर. बोअर मतलब अ शेड, the shade of a tree under which we have sound sleep. Those which bind us to this earth, which gives us the hope. And then he says that humans are surrounded by so many disappointments. इतने सारे उनके चारों तरफ दुख दर्द हैं. The lack of humanity, the gloomy days, मतलब उनके अपने personal sorrows, the violence, the war, battle, everything is giving troubles, miseries to the humans. उसके बावजूद there is something which removes these, ये जो हमारे ऊपर जो बोझ है, ये जो burden है, that is removed from our soul. And he is listing यहाँ पर, if you see the very first list the things that the poet has mentioned as thing of beauty, and list the things that cause suffering and pain. तो सफरिंग एंड पेन आपका पर्सनल सॉरो, मतलब कि एनी विक्टिमाइजेशन, एनी बैटल, एनीथिंग, एनी लॉस. एंड ब्यूटी जो थिंग्स हैं वो है आपके सन, मून, ट्रीज, the simplicity of nature, the flowers, the clear rills, the forest, everything provides us something which are inspirational. And then he moves away to literature. वो कहता है कि not only the beauties, the bounties of nature, there are certain things like the literature. But literature भी किसका? of those people who have laid their life for others, those who have sacrificed themselves for others, the saints, the great people, the great persons. जब हम उनके बारे में पढ़ते हैं, when we read about them, when we hear about them, they are also never ending sources, just like the immortal drink. Immortal drink matlab when a human experiences the immortal drink, तो फिर क्या होता है? He becomes eternal. He becomes immortal. उसी तरीके से जब हम इन चीजों को पढ़ते हैं तो इनका इंस्पिरेशन हमेशा रहता है. So that is a thing of beauty, joy forever.